Hey guys, welcome back. It's Maverick here with another episode of Koyomimonogatari. I do believe I have the time today, so I will be doing 2 episodes back to back here. Now, first up is episode 7. Last episode we dealt with Karen, right? We dealt with Karen-chan. So I'm assuming for this episode we are going to enter Tsukihi's story, or at least Tsukihi's appearance, right? You can't really call it a story regarding her because, honestly, most of these stories right now don't really have anything to do with the girls. They just appear in them. But anyways, let's get into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Yep. This, super wahoo song. Oriental song, basically. I think that's how you say it, right? Wafu? Wafu, I think. You know, now that I listen to this a bit more, does anybody think that it sounds kind of like Sengoku's Lenai Circulation? Kinda, right? A few of the chords on one. Obviously, chorus is different. Platinum Disco, right? Yeah, you gotta clap for this. Ah, oops. Discotheque. Discotheque is Nana Mizuki's song, I think. Alright. Quite ironic coming from Tsuki here, right? Okay, so is this after what happened with Sengoku? I mean, first season of Sengoku, anyways. I'm kind of curious though, like at this point in the story and whatnot. Like I know in terms of light novel order, this happened before whatever the final season is called. Oh. She's going out John Wick there. Or Jason Bourne. Anyways, as I was saying, before I was rudely interrupted, I do wonder why Nisho Isen or Isho Nisen. Actually, it should be Nisho Isen, right? Why he decided to release these stories before the end of everything. Some people don't really want to face the truth. Yeah. Don't worry, Suki. It's something you'll learn with age. And doesn't only have to deal with ghosts and apparitions and rumors either. Yeah, see? Just like how she just wants someone to listen to her, right? Skin? Your eyes, dude. Oh. Hey, there are some. Oh. Is that gonna be the end of this? Oh? Back here again. Welcome to real life. Yeah, as I was saying. Oh, those are all the other girls. Really? I would have like the almost opposite kind of a feeling here. Like something completely unrelated? I mean, technically he's already lying to them. Right?
不合理に合理的な説明がつけば月日としては納得できるのだ。だからカンバルはそこに理屈をつけた。みんなは月日のために8人目を信じているのだという理屈をつけたのだった。
Really?
月日はよく物質の備品をお茶やお菓子を勝手に持ち出している。そんな問題にするようなことではないのだが、しかし厳密に言えばそれは褒められたことではない。
Really? That's how they're going with this.
またしても部活が活動停止になりかねない。だから8人目を想定することで備品の減るスピードの辻褄を合わせた。決して口裏を合わせたわけではないけれど、月日をかばうために皆は8人目の茶道部入部を認めたのだ。
I feel like... Wow. Whatever. Well, isn't that convenient? Right. Ah, that's an interesting question at the very end there, right? Like, Okay, interesting. Well, see you guys after this. Alright, we actually had a pretty interesting episode here, right? Especially with the concept that it covered, and especially at the very end there with Kanbaru kind of implying that Tsukihi going along with the story might just be because she understands that Aragi or Koyomi is trying to fool her in some sort of way. But hey, we will never know, right? But I did like the entire premise of this episode, right? And in fact, I think it's actually a shame that it's not a topic that's brought up into the main storyline, which is the idea that, you know, you can be all logical and consistent as you want. It doesn't really, you know, it doesn't really mean that you are 100% correct all the time, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that that is the one and only way to do things here. Now, some of you might know by this point that I consider myself a pretty rational and logical person here. So, you know, there's a lot of things that I look at and I'm just like, no, that doesn't make any sense at all, right? But still, you know, saying it is one thing, right? And obviously, you know, sometimes people, hey, sometimes commenters already, or sometimes you guys call me out on it as well, right? Sometimes it doesn't really need to make, you know, 100% sense, maybe just 60% sense, 70% sense, and the rest for the sake of the story, right? And I get that, I actually do get that. You know, sometimes I do play more of the devil's advocate role in these kind of situations and bring these situations up and these topics up because, well, otherwise it's not fun just agreeing with everyone else, right? I mean, you know, if I wanted to do that, I would just do those over-the-top reaction videos, and that would be it here. But I do want to drive the discussion forward, right? And sometimes it does bring out some more interesting takes or ideas on how, you know, what the characters actually meant and whatnot, what the situation is actually implying, and so on and so forth, right? And I think another thing, really, that should be understood as well is, you know, even especially in real life, it doesn't really work to be all rational and logical 100% of the time. That's definitely not gonna get you far in life, unfortunately, right? Especially if you deal with any sort of occupation or any kind of role that has to deal with people. Right now, if you are, I don't know, like just you're a one-person entrepreneur or something like of that sort, and you didn't have to deal, or I don't know, like maybe an engineer or something of that sort, which don't have to, you know, justify or convince others and so on and so forth. Maybe you can get away with it, but honestly, a lot of the times you need to take into consideration that most people act on emotions, all right? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I'd say, you know, obviously coming from someone who considers himself to be more on the logical side of things, it does occasionally, well, I can't really say occasion, I say frequently. It frequently does annoy me, but I think at this point in life, you know, I've already discovered how best to cover these kind of situations, right? Which is to, you know, to drive the story forward on the other person's assumptions or beliefs, right? And indeed, you know, you can't really say there's a right and wrong. I think this is also something that I learned as I matured and whatnot through the years, and that is that, you know, you're coming, maybe you think that, okay, you're all logical and you know, you act on facts and evidence and whatnot, but, you know, you still can't really just overthrow or overwrite another person's beliefs, right? Like, take for instance the situation in this particular episode here where, you know, the other club members were believing that there was a ghost here, right? Well, why do they believe there's a ghost? There's like tons of reasons why they could be taking such a position, such an attitude here. Like, for one, maybe they do believe in the supernatural. Maybe they had some close experiences with the supernatural, at least to them, and or you know, some close kin that encountered supernatural situations. So they truly do believe in these things happening, and so, you know, they also believe that this is caused by some sort of supernatural ghost or apparition or whatever it is, right? You know, that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is for instance, you know, maybe they come from a religion or whatnot that believes in these kind of things. So because there is the possibility here, you can't really rule it out, right? You can't really 100% rule it out. So maybe that's also the situation here. Maybe the person who does believe in the supernatural, they have some ghosts of their own. I mean, figuratively, ghosts of their own that they're sort of projecting onto this eighth ghost, this eighth member here. That's also a possibility. And heck, there might just be some people who consider that having a ghost, you know, having a situation where there's a ghost is more fun, more interesting, right? That could also be one of the situations here. So without really understanding, you know, fully what others are thinking, you know, their beliefs, their backgrounds, their stance and whatnot, it's really hard to just, you know, go through it. And honestly, it's kind of a waste of time, if I'm being honest here. So what's the best situation to deal with? Like, just in life, when people are being emotional, I find that the best method to go about it is to, you know, come to the same conclusion that you already made, but putting it in using the stance or the position of the others, right? Like, if somebody is acting emotional about a situation here, and you already have come to the logical conclusion of something, you know, maybe try and tell a little bit white lie or twist the words around to drive the other person's emotions to you know, to the point where you reach your logical conclusion, right? That's one way to look at it. Or for instance, to take this episode at hand, maybe, well, there was no real consequence that was coming here, right? I guess, like hypothetically, just as a hypothetical situation, maybe one of the consequences or one of the deep problems that Tsukihi was facing was, you know, because the other members believed that the tea ceremony house was you know, the clubhouse was haunted, or the club room was haunted, so they now refuse to go in there, right? Well, if the others do believe it's a ghost, maybe try to find a sort of situation where, instead of proving that there's no ghost, instead prove that, hey, actually this is not a malicious ghost, you know, maybe the ghost is just hungry, it wants some offerings or whatnot. If we give him some offerings, nothing will happen anymore, right? Something of that sort. I do find that it's a useful way to go about life, right? Of course, you could also take the no compromise route, right? Like Rorschach from Watchmen or something like that. But honestly, a lot of times it's more trouble than it's worth if you are a logical person and you want to have your end goal, right? Something that you want others to do or believe in order to continue on the path that you want to continue on. A lot of times it's just easier to be like, well, if that's what you believe, fine, then I'll just use your beliefs to drive you into the direction or area that I want you to go to, right? Just, you know, just a little kind of advice for any young ones out there, right? Not that I'm trying to be like you know, a boomer or anything, but yeah, as I've mentioned numerous times before, I actually do consider myself quite old, especially in the sort of anime reactor category and whatnot. But anyways, so that was a fun little episode here and a fun little talk. I do feel like, again, this subject probably should have been made into the main series. I feel like they could do a lot of interesting, they could make an entirely interesting and long storyline delving from this subject, right? You know, others' beliefs, how to use others' beliefs, and sort of drive the situation forward and whatnot. And heck, there's lots of philosophical stances on this as well. So again, I feel like it's kind of a waste not to put it in the main storyline, but hey, here we are, right? So anyways, like I said, I do have some time today, so I will be going into the next episode. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys right in the next one.